Okay. Okay.
Yes,
Wait,
the recording is up now. So,
okay. Hello, everyone. Good morning, afternoon, evening, wherever you're from, wherever you're tuning in from. So this is a program that ought to have been held on Saturday. On Saturday. And it's the Purposeful Lifestyle Forum platform. And we're to treat a topic we refer to as rebranding, the uniqueness and creativity in you, featuring our seasoned guest, Mr. Julius Afolabi, who presumes to be a strategist consultant and performance analyst, right?
yeah.
Well, and much more. So before we introduce him, we just want to welcome you all, viewers tuning in, and once again use this opportunity to apologize for the inconveniences. We believe that this particular discussion will bless a lot of lives and inspire a lot. In fact, I know so many were looking forward to it, and it I felt like I had disappointed them that Saturday.
Yes.
So glory, our guest is here. So we give God the glory for such an opportunity. Welcome, sir.
Thank you very much. Thank you so much.
Good to have you on.
It's a big pleasure.
Time without hitches and glitches. We give God the glory. So without much ado, I would just love to say a thing or two about our guest, Mr. Julius Afolabi. A profile, just a bio or profile. And Mr. Julius Afolabi is a premium business coach, a value improvement strategist, quality improvement analyst, and a seasoned corporate detoxifier centered on creating business solutions and career optimization frameworks that equips and positions skilled professionals, coaches, and business owners in the marketplace. Having gained a decade experience in the banking sector and another decade in the private enterprise, he has developed a unique framework for improving value and global competitiveness. He has worked with blue chip companies, small scale businesses, professional firms, and microfinance. He has authored several books and trained clients ranging from coaches, business managers, and the likes in polishing and raising their game and improving on their business fortunes in the marketplace. Wow, that's a whole loaded profile. We give God the glory. Sir, you're welcome once again to the platform. It's a great pleasure having you, and I believe that everyone watching will be blessed, including myself. So we really are looking forward and keen on knowing how we could rebrand our uniqueness, our potentials, and just activate it to do something better, to energize what we're already doing in every sphere of our influence. I'd love for us to just take a minute and say a word of prayer. I hope you don't mind, sir.
Go ahead. Please go ahead.
Father in heaven, we thank you, we praise your holy name, and we glorify you. We thank you for such an opportunity coming more like a secular discussion. We still trust you, sweet Holy Spirit, is made on this platform will be to the glory of your name and lives in His mighty name. We have prayed. Amen. Amen.
Amen.
Sir, are you ready? Well, we're just ready to hit the show now. We are far behind schedule, and
please go ahead. I'm with you all the way.
Someone like me here is very excited to know more about branding. Discussion is on rebranding, and you're rebranding your uniqueness and creativity. Perhaps we should start by understanding what rebranding is as a concept and how it is related to our uniqueness and creativity and potentials generally.
Okay. Thank you very much for this opportunity to share with your audience and
everyone that is present here. The idea of rebranding is not something that is strange. Rebranding is simply reestablishing your identity and your core value in the face of reality so that you can create new possibilities. So it is reestablishing your identity and your core value in the face of reality so that you can create new possibilities. So that's exactly what, yes, so that is the core meaning of rebranding. A lot of people think that rebranding is just the change of colors, the change of logos. Those are brand elements, right? They are just vehicles to establishing what exactly we are talking about. So brand itself is about your core values and your identity. It's a distinct identification with a particular province. That's what rebranding. That's what rebranding is.
Interesting. Wow. So I think we would like to know and delve in more into what these core components are. Yeah. Perhaps you could like shed more light on them. What are these core components and values?
Okay. When we say values, these are ideas, belief system, and standards, principles that are unique to you. Like the title of our conversation says that we are rebranding the uniqueness and the creativity in us. So when we say core elements, we're talking about identity. First, identity, what you look like, your thinking, your appearance, your character, and then your functional experience. So when we say functional experience, what is the interaction of your business with people, right? What do people feel when they come into your space? You understand? These are the core elements. For instance, if you go into some eateries, they have a particular smell that is, identified with them. You get it?
Unique to them.
Unique to them. Such that when you enter into another eatery, you just feel a difference. Let's say they are side by side. If you live somewhere in Lagos, probably you move from Mama Cat and you get into Sweet Sensation and you get into maybe Nanette Pie or something. You understand? You get it. And you get into any of them, you find out that they are always different and unique. You understand me? Are we together? Can you hear me? Hello, can you hear me?
Now you pause for a while. I'm not sure if it's the network.
Okay, I think it's the network. I think it's the network. So I was saying that let's say side by side. That's why when you go to the market, you'll find different people. If you get into the market now, you'll find different people selling tomatoes, right? But you find out that one person has, the way she has packaged the tomatoes, they are looking finer, fresher, well packaged than the other person. That's a form of branding. They are all selling tomatoes, but they have what created their uniqueness in the way they have what arranged them, the way they are packaged. You understand? The package, you understand? Right. So this core element is that thing unique to that person. That what makes you, what is it that got you attracted to that person? First of all, what you see, how you feel, to a large extent, determines what exactly you are. Ayo. Hello.
Hello.
Okay, I think it's about I don't mind, it's about to rain here, so I think that's what's hello, are you with me? Can you hear me now? Hello? Can you hear me now?
I can hear you. I can hear you.
So
yes.
So we're saying that it's possible that when you get into this place, you will find a difference. There is a distinction in everybody. That distinction is a function of how those people think differently from others, right? Like for instance, now this same topic could as well be discussed in another dimension again. The same topic, but you find a different approach. So we are all bringing our uniqueness to that particular conversation. So it's an identity. So
Right.
at the background of rebranding is identity and then distinction.
Identity.
Yes, and then distinction. So you are able to pick out who is different. So I know that by the time we get deeper in this conversation, I'll be able to share my slide and we can run through some things. Yeah. So I don't know if that answers. If that answers your question.
Yeah, it does. Speaking of identity, I just wanted to pick up from where you stopped. You know, you mentioned the issue of, you know, identity and just like, you know, bringing out our style, our signature.
Yeah.
A signature of the way of doing things, you know.
Yes.
And mentioning, I just remember something you mentioned, like when you entered, there's a Nigeria, there's a particular smell. So when you mentioned that, it just, that franchise KFC just came to my mind.
Exactly.
So having said that, I will, probably we should shed more light on the benefits, you know, of you know, businesses and even people in their spheres of influence, you know, accepting and embracing the need for rebranding, you know, their identities, not necessarily losing their identity, because I believe the identity is what makes you stand out, but the need to rebrand, you know, whatever they are into or whatever they are doing, you know, to keep, especially in this never-ending, fast-paced society and world. Yeah. What do you think are the benefits of this rebranding with regards to, you know, our identity and all of that?
Okay. Lovely question there. So we said that if you look at if you can get back the definition of rebranding that I said, it's a way of establishing your identity and your core values in the face of reality in order to create new possibilities. So this applies to individuals as well applies to businesses and also organizations. So as an employee, you will come to a point where you need to rebrand. Right? As a business as a whole, you will come to a point where you need to rebrand. As an organization, you must also rebrand. Let's take, for instance, a typical example is a major event that has changed the landscape of things and the way we live and the way we do things. Let's talk about the pandemic, right? Ever since the pandemic experience, a lot of things have changed. Organizations have changed the way they work, right? Years back, about 10, 15 years back, there's what we call telecommuting, right? It was not so well accepted then, where you could work from home and all that. They didn't appreciate it until the pandemic came. So every organization had to rebrand their work style. And every individual also, you know, a lot of businesses were shut down because they could not quickly fit into the reality of what is obtainable. Do you understand? They lost, they lost their adaptability. So business has still remained business, but the way of doing business has changed. You can see that now. The way we do business has changed. So the benefit of rebranding is the fact that you are in tune with what is currently happening. You are ahead of obsolescence. You understand? You are not obsolete, right? So in order for you to remain in the mind of the market and in the mind of your customer and your target audience, there is need for you to rebrand, because over time you'll find out that your core identity or your vision or what your distinction is no longer appealing to the people like they should. For instance, you see that a lot of brands have evolved. Like you see Pepsi, they have changed their colors. You know, we have moved into, we call them netizens, right? Who are more mobile or technology inclined people. So you find out that we need to also, since they form the largest part of the people that consume our product, we need to adapt to their sense of reasoning today. So you need to evolve. That's why you see Coca-Cola will change the shape of the bottle. It's just a way of connecting with the current reality of their market, right? While we have the old school that will not have anything, that will not mind still drinking from the bottle, right? The netizen or the new generation would prefer to walk around with can. It's odd for you to walk about with bottle, right? So they had to rebrand in order for them to be able to what? Acclimatize and adapt to the reality of the present generation. You understand? So every business needs to rebrand over time, because if you remain the same, with change, you will go obsolete, and then the market will easily forget you. So if you want to remain in the mind of the market and in the mass. So as an individual as well, you can see now, recently we have had a lot of issues about parenting. So our parenting style will have to be rebranded. So we have to be rebranded. So as an employee, if you have to maintain your seats, you've got to become tech savvy. So we are in the generation of skill transition. So you have to upskill and you have to reskill if you don't want to lose your place in your job. Do you understand? Wow. So that's how beneficial.
Upskill and reskill.
Exactly, because of skill transition, right? Because right now the jobs that are being created now were not the job that were existing 20 years back. And statistics have it that over time, in the next 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 years now, there will be more jobs. Recently, there are more opportunities online than offline. So if you have to fit into that reality,
right, all right, I was about, yes.
So
I'm sorry to cut you there. I was about to say something. I was speaking of the pandemic, because I think the pandemic actually gave way for lots of online job opportunities. I've met thousands of people, that actually were able to, gain some financial leverage, thanks to the pandemic. And I think as much as we suffered all that we went through, it was an opportunity for many to discover so many things about, online skills and all of that, and seize that opportunity and, improve on business online services and all of that. So, but on another note, I believe that some other businesses struggled, especially as you mentioned, that probably they were not able to cope, probably with remote working and all of that. So I think we should also look at the other side, like the implications, when companies, businesses, even ministries, we're not leaving ministries out of it. Because as much as we know that ministry is ought to be decent and all of that, but whatever is obsolete is obsolete. Churches need to improve. Ministries could be gospel ministrations. It could be, whatever calling we're led to do. We all need to apply strategies, re-strategize, learn, relearn, be open to learning generally. And I probably could share with us certain implications that could, one could face if you struggle with re-strategizing and, actually considering rebranding in your sphere of influence or whatever you're doing.
Okay, what some of the challenges that you could face is this. Number one, 3 basic questions you should ask when you're rebranding or thinking of rebranding is, what exactly am I here to do? You see, uniqueness is a default capacity. So there are default capacity, there is acquired capacity. So that's why you will find out that when you drop a pinch of honey or a drop of honey on the ground, a lizard won't come there. Who you will find there is an ant, right? Because there is something unique about the ant that connects it to the honey. So also, our uniqueness is a default capacity. That is the wealth of our being. No two people, no one is like you. No two people will ever be like you. So there is no need. You are not, rebranding is not altering your identity. Now, the dissolution in today's generation is that we find out that people want to be like others. Do you understand? And want to be like others, and they think that is rebranding themselves to suit what is obtainable. But then what happens is that they lose their originality and they are not able to appear the way as perfectly as the person they are copying. A copy will never match original. Do you understand? That's the definition of uniqueness, right? It is the evidence of mastery that connects and resonates with other people to showcase their own uniqueness. Do you understand that? So you get it now.
Wow.
Whether in a ministry, whether as a person, for instance, in the ministry now, you find the online worshipers are more than the physical worshipers.
That's true.
Now, the internet,
especially with the pandemic.
With the pandemic, now you find out that the internet was God's idea, not necessarily. It was the commitment of a man in search of possibilities that gave access to creating the internet. But God's idea about the internet was his ability to reach a person in Japan. Somebody could be in Japan and be on this particular program right now. Do you understand? Which was not possible before now. That's the uniqueness of the internet. It collapsed the wall, the geographical walls. It made everything we are able to do, our reach, to be more expanded and expounded. Do you understand? So now, for anybody that is thinking of what rebranding, first is, what is my unique identity? What is it meant to serve? Then how can you serve it? That's why we talk about. I will share my screen with you after a while now to show you the rebranding pathway. First of all, has to do with attention. How do I make my uniqueness visible to you to attract your attention? So that means that there must be attention, emotion, and attraction. What happens when you see a particular logo is the fact that it's eye-catching. Then what happened to the text or the italic form in which it is written connects with the emotional part of you. For instance, now there is a payoff on Big Barrow many years ago. It said 1 million people cannot be wrong. So you see what that does to, the more you read that, the more you are connecting with the fact that you are not buying Barrow, you are buying the validation of 1 million people. So you see that now. So if you are in ministry and you are called to what? Probably faith, healing and deliverance, or the likes, whatever it is that you are called, it's this. It's not outside the Bible. Do you understand? But the method of delivery has changed, right? And that's why people may not need to be in that particular church, but they can connect online and still get healed simply because faith has no boundaries, right? And whatever it is that we are saying, faith does not have boundary. All it takes is for you to believe and connect, and then the experience is yours. And say, blessed is she that believeth, for there shall be a performance of those things which were spoken to him. So you can see that now. Those are what's spoken in the airspace. Do you understand? And you are just humble enough to accept and receive the possibility of that, and you find it, God will establish himself in that particular process. So irrespective of what you are doing, you must first of all identify what's my core value that I am giving out. It's not about losing my identity. You understand? I'm not altering my identity. I'm just serving my uniqueness in a creative way that connects you to me and make your own possibilities happen. Do you understand? So in my own way, my own experience now, I am sharing about rebranding in a way that will connect with the businessman, will connect with ministry, will connect with an individual who has a job or who has a business in a way that will make him achieve his own possibilities. So that's it. So that's why you find it that a lot of people struggle. One of the things that is prevalent today is identity crisis. You understand, the crisis of identity. True. Now, somebody wants to look like an Asian, right? So those days, you now go with special apologies. You now go and probably turn your dark hair to white. You will not perfectly look like a blonde, and at the same time, you are losing your originality. So people will not be able to place you. Do you understand? So you're losing your originality. And
you're lost already.
You are not a
lost
perfect
identity.
Exactly. So that's exactly the way it is. That's why you'll find out that in your bio, your profile says what you do, right? Somebody reading your profile will that your profile will determine who can connect with you and who should connect with you. Can you see? So that's why it is part of what? Branding. It is part of what? Branding. Are we together? It is part of branding. Hello?
Yeah, I lost.
Okay, I think it was network. A call came in through my phone. Hello? Are we there? Hello? Hello? Are you there? Hello? Can you hear me? Can you hear me? Okay, Atinuke can hear me, but okay. Miss Naya, can you hear me? I think we lost her. Okay. We can't hear you. Your voice is faint. Can you hear me now? Can you hear now? We can't hear you. We're just seeing your mouth moving. Okay, you can type in the chat box. Let's see. Okay. Oh, lost that. Okay. All right. Are you back now?
Perfect. Perfect. Perfect.
Okay. You're
Perfect.
back
I'm
now.
back.
Okay.
Yes, I had to leave because I wasn't hearing you at all. So I just left.
We're hearing your mouth moving too.
Interesting. I can see that. I think we should go through the slides.
Yes.
I also saw your mouth moving, but I wasn't hearing anything.
Okay, I think it was a connection.
Okay.
It was a connection. It was a connection stop. So
Okay. Well, it's fine now.
yeah.
Okay, so yeah, I see the slides are on, but just before we go into the slides,
Yeah.
I was hoping you could just help us shed more light on the steps one could take in order to, still maintain your uniqueness, and at the same time rebrand, improve,
Okay. The thing like
strategize, add value without losing your identity and uniqueness. I think that's what people really need to
okay. So
understand.
So I think one of the major issues that we have especially in a country like in the African continent or in a country like Nigeria is the fact that people will lack sustainability, right? There's a lack of sustainability. And when you say, what can people do? How can people maintain their identity while adding more value? is the fact that the first thing to establish is the fact that what does your brand do? What's the core thing that your brand do? For who? Who do you serve? When you establish who you serve, then you need to go back to identify what has changed about them. If you identify what has changed about them, what is their current problems today that your uniqueness can solve in a better way? Are we together? Good. So
Yes,
step-by-step approach is to establish what your identity is, then who, know exactly how do I what am I doing? How do I make this man's life better, these people's life better, my target audience? What is the evolution that they are going through? How do I still give them what I give them without losing who I am, without changing who I am? Like, for instance, I do not have to wear an earring to feel among as a person, as a male, right? The fact that I'm going into a particular community that accepts that doesn't mean I should do that, right? Like, for instance, now we're talking about how lighted is my place. There are people that don't really care about how you would feel. They are more comfortable with the good, the value that they add to you. Now, let me give you a typical example. There was this airline sometimes back when the cost of production went high and they needed to keep their customers, right? And because the times were tough and the rest of them, what did they do? They simply did what? Stripped all their, their flights of any form of luxury. They sat down and said, why are we in transportation? Why are we in the transportation or air transportation business? To simply move people from one location to another, right? Now the person, what is the core thing for that person is that he wants to live where he wants speed, right? Now they now made comfort or luxury optional, right? You can see it now. So if you now want to have refreshment on board, you will buy. So that was the way in which they jumped their sales. Are we together? So they were still serving the people they were serving. Okay, look at cowbell. How did cowbell penetrate the market? Everybody used to buy tin milk. All of a sudden, they came with sachet, right? What people want is the milk. And then we want market share and share of wallet, right? Isn't it? That's why we're in business. We want the customer, right? And the quality has not changed, but you can buy for the amount that you can afford. So they are not denying you the availability of their goods because the cost of production has gone up. Can you see it now? So they have stripped their service to the basic. While they are adding value to you, they are not changing their quality. Now, if Miss Noyena wants to sing, now that does not mean she now has to sing like an American in order for it to sell. What is most important is what is the message of the song? Are we together? So your uniqueness is your first selling point. The content value is your first selling point. All the other brand elements are packaging for appeal, for attraction, for attention. Just like we say, somebody will walk into Sweet Sensation because of that smell, right? It just likes that smell, right? You get it? So just like you have the iPhone and you have the Android, you understand? Some people, if it is not Apple, they are not going to use a phone. Are we together? And look at the same thing that the phone industry, the tech industry too did. The iPhone is a radio station, it's a video studio with your phone. There are a lot of things you can do. You can listen to news, you can do your mathematics, you have a diary there, you have a video there, you can edit your video, you can publish your video, everything in one. So you can see that the purpose was it transcended beyond just communication, but doing a lot of things. So those were additive elements that will still make the communication one. Are we together? So what you must establish,
that's true.
the step-by-step process is, first of all, creative thinking. Then you have constructive commitment. Then you have what? Distribution and deployment. Those 3 steps. Creative thinking. How do I creatively remain the same while serving the best? Then what is the commitment? What must I continue to give out in order to keep the flock? Then how well do I distribute this? You were distributing this particular event both on Facebook and on Instagram, right? So you could get attention of people from Instagram and get attention of people from Facebook. If you had gone to Twitter and to LinkedIn, all of them are unique and they have unique audience. Do you understand? So if you go to TikTok, LinkedIn, Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, they are unique and they have unique audience. Some people are strictly Facebook. Some people are strictly Twitter. Some people are. So you have to be more of who you are. You don't have to be another person, but more and all of who you are. That's where the creativity comes in.
Thank you, sir.
Yeah.
Creativity. That's something we haven't mentioned much. But I think we should go into your slides. I mean, I'm interested to see, and I'm sure viewers would love to see. Let's feed our eyes, sir.
Okay. So let me share these slides now.
Okay.
I want to share my screen. So you can see the screen now.
Right.
Good. So we say rebranding uniqueness and creativity, the creativity in you, right? So you can see this is the goldfish, right? So every single individual that is alive is like that. You are just different and unique. That doesn't stop you from moving about in the same water in which the other fish is. So we share the same planet Earth, but we are unique in order to be
in our own ways.
In our own way, in order to be interdependent. Are we together? So in order to be what? Interdependent. We are interdependent beings. There are things that you are extremely good at that I might not be extremely good at. Do you understand? So there is a portion of you that I will need, and there's a portion of me that you need. It's an interdependent world. No one person is exclusively independent, but we are all an exclusive brand. Nobody is exclusively independent, but we are all an exclusive brand. So our uniqueness is what makes us an exclusive brand. My thumbprint is not the same with your thumbprint. In fact, science has it that no perfectly cloned person can share the same characteristic with the original. So if you perfectly clone a person with the experiences that the person will begin to go through, he will change. Even twins that came out of one particular gamete and cell, one chromosome, at a point in time, over time, their personalities will evolve. So that's the strength of our uniqueness, right? And that's why your uniqueness is your core brand. That's your major brand, right? So the way another person would teach this now will be different. If you bring a comedian now to talk about rebranding, he's going to say it in alliance with his uniqueness. Are we together now? So he sees everything with the default capacity of a comedian.
Of our uniqueness.
Do you understand me? So that's the way he will see it now. Now, what your creativity will do for you, your creativity will make your uniqueness a brand. How do I mean? Take, for instance, if you put a goldfish in an aquarium, it dominates that space. It's the only one in that place, right? So that's what your uniqueness does. Your creativity helps you to brand your uniqueness. Are we together? Such that the way, okay, look at the definition I gave for rebranding. You may not have seen it in any textbook like that. Is a way of establishing.
Because it's your own unique perception.
Do you understand it now? You understand?
Right.
Which
Right.
it's
right.
not far away from the context, but it is conveying the same message. We are still talking about rebranding, but we are saying it is the establishment of your identity and your core values in the face of reality in order to what? Create new possibilities. So you see it now? So I will change the way I do what I do that other people do in a way that keeps you coming back to me to get what you need.
Brand loyalty.
So that's exactly. So you see it now. So your loyalty to me, there is a connection that we share. There is an emotional connect that I have pushed out, that I've expressed. You know, creativity is about the expression of your uniqueness. You get it now? You are simply expressing. When you see, when you see a monkey and when you see a chameleon,
your uniqueness,
you see it. You are expressing. That creativity is your. So that's why a lot of knowledge would only do what? Activate your creativity. It will brand your uniqueness. So knowledge helps you to what? Brand your uniqueness, and it will activate your what? Your creativity. That's what it does. The more information you have, the more you are able to express the same thing in different ways to people. You find some people who are that do voice, some people that do voiceovers. You know, they can talk like a cat, and they can change their voice and talk like a man. So you can see now that's creativity coming in. Now, if you watch Who Wants to Be a Millionaire, that's Frank Edoho, right? The way he handles that particular program, there's rarely anybody that handles it like that. Do you understand? And if you look at other spaces too, you'll find people, different people in their own uniqueness, the way they play it. So they have created, he is branded for that. Who Wants to Be a Millionaire? The suspense, the interaction, the way he converses with you, it makes it so interesting.
Engagement.
And you understand? And he makes everything so natural. It's so natural. He doesn't feel any, it is just himself. Do you understand?
Effortlessly.
You see it. Effortlessly. You get it. So that's exactly what our uniqueness and our creativity does to making us a brand. So you can see now, there is no one is like you. Nobody is like you. You are just separate. You are just unique. You are just different. You get it now. So you don't have to be another person to sell. You just have to be more of yourself and all of yourself. So one thing that you must understand is that how you perceive what you do and the person you serve can change your level of effectiveness.
Wow.
How you perceive what you do and the person that you're serving can change your level of effectiveness. Do you understand? If I see myself as a consultant that help people get what they want, mastermind their solutions, or to get the result that they want. Now I look at you. Where is your area of excellence? That's where I start from. You have to be clear. What exactly do you want to achieve? What is the capacity that is effortless with you? What are the new capacities you need to add to it in order to get to where you are? So because where you presently are is not all that you can be, but you don't lack the capacity. Yes, you don't lack the capacity to do better than you are doing. All you need to do is to come to the awareness that you can get to where you want to be. They say a great leader would help people get to where, change their destination to another place. But they said an exceptional leader would help other people become the best that they should be.
Right, interesting.
So the best of you, what branding does is that it displays the best of you. So all the other elements, brand elements like color, you understand? Color, for instance, if you're talking about what's the best way to display fire? It has to be red, right? Those are brand elements.
Or yellow.
You understand? Or yellow. You understand? You want to make something bright. You understand? You go that way. in order to be able to express what you intend to say. Do you understand? And that's why most of the time when somebody wants to talk about an idea, you find out that they use a light bulb, a bulb. You say, oh, your light bulb moments, like that. So you are a brand that constantly needs to be what? Needs to be rebranded because of the evolution. You see it now. So you are simply exclusive. No two people are like you. You are the only you. Are we together? You are the only you. So uniqueness is doing something you know best to do in a way nobody else does it. This is the special art and act that makes you a master in that circle. So you can see it now. So this is about what your uniqueness looks like. Now look at it this way now. All the bulbs are different. Why is everybody going towards the different one? Right? Why is everybody moving? So your uniqueness is the exclusivity of your brand. You can see everybody, you've got attention. From the attention, you are generating emotions that is bringing comparison and magnetizing the people to you. So you can see it now. So that's why your brand positions you. Your brand is how long and how well you are sitting in the heart and the mind of the market. Such that when they talk about football, who comes to your mind? In Nigeria, when they talk about football legends, who comes to your mind? You think of JJ Okocha, right? You understand? Yes, because of, you know, he has, there's a crest on his own style of football, right? Good. So when they also talk about some other things in the world, when you talk about long tennis, you can't escape talking about Serena Williams. When you talk about golf, Tiger Woods comes to mind. Why? They have excelled exceptionally. They have become a brand in that particular thing. So you find out that to an extent that somebody can say, when you want to talk about golf, you can easily just put the picture of what Tiger Woods, and you have spoken. You don't need to talk much. A picture is worth 1,000 words.
It sells it out already.
Exactly. So you can see that the way you position your brand sells you, because the person is constantly thinking about that particular brand when they talk about it. So there are some things that people will, when they mention Julius Afolabi, somebody has something unique to say about me. They say, oh, there's this thing about it. So you can see rebranding is basically distinct identification and core essence, right? What is core about you and how do we identify you separately? Are we together? So if you put different kinds of meat pies here, there's something that will differentiate all of them, right? Unique identification. Are we together? Yes. So good. So you can see it now. Now, I did an illustration here to talk about names. You know, name is also part of brand element, isn't it? Like, for instance, what's the name of your program? What's the name of your program? The name of your program is what? Purposeful Life, isn't it?
That's
isn't
true.
it? Yes, Purposeful Life.
Purposeful Lifestyle Forum.
Yes, Purposeful Lifestyle Forum. Can you see that now? So to a large extent, the character of your brand is your lifestyle. Can you see it now? You can't be talking about purposeful lifestyle if you don't have a purpose. And
interesting.
Now you are also connecting with others now. By this particular program now, we are helping somebody to say, stop trying to look like another person. Be yourself and activate the creativity. Use your creativity to sponsor your brand. Right? Like, for instance, if a person of faith listening to us, you understand that Daniel had a particular character. He was a brand. He knew the brand which was made of. When the king wanted to change their name, why did he want to change their name? Name signifies three things. Name shows ownership, origin, and function. Now, when I teach teenagers, this is what I tell them. Before you copy a trend, find out the origin and what is the purpose. If you can know where it came from and what it was meant to do, then you can decide if you have to flow with it. If not, you will be changing yourself. You understand? You become You'll be losing your
Right.
own originality in order to look like another person. So you have started living another person's life.
That's true.
You've started living what? Another person's life. Irrespective of what anybody is displaying anywhere, never compare yourself with another person. Your pace and your risk is different. And that's why you are different. So that's why we said that rebranding is not altering your identity, but rather improving your identity to fulfill your destiny.
Wow.
So you can see it now. So you see it now that you have what? Ownership, origin, and function. The moment if you are a carpenter and your logo shows nail and hammer, do you need to talk much? No. You have already, by that image, you have shown what you're doing, right? Now, what color will suit that? What do you have to say? If it ain't broken, don't fix it. That's a mentality. But you don't have to wait till it's broken before you fix it. So that's that. You can see this is how brands move. Now, if you look at them, they have changed what? The shape. Normally, rebranding, what shows that you have rebranded are those brand elements, the things that carry what you do. Now, if you look at this, now look at Air France and just look at the Air France. What did they simply do? They only removed the bottom line and then they maintain the red, they maintain the color, but change the font. So the fonts makes it more friendly. Now look at Citroën now, and look at the Citroën here now. They made it more friendly. Are we together? Look at Starbucks. They changed something and they kept it. Look at the Ford, look at Pepsi, look at Xerox. Just change the font so that it looks more appealing, right? Good. So I said, when rebranding, you should ask these three questions. Who does the name appeal to, right? Who does the name appeal to? What does the name inspire, right? What does the name inspire? If we say Living Faith Church Worldwide, you understand, from the name itself. And then they now said it's established on, it's a faith-based denomination. Do you understand? Like that. So it's that way.
Right.
So where does the name direct attention to? Curiosity. So your brand must show some element of curiosity, like you saw in the image that we saw here. You can see curiosity in people. What type of people did it attract from all spheres of life? What does the name say to a large extent? So we can see that that is how. So Daniel was conscious enough to withdraw himself from the diet and the feast of evil by the devil. Do you understand? Why does this man want to change my name? Right? Because the moment my name changed, as they call me every day, is changing who I am. I'm losing my identity. And so he said, no, I won't partake of the diet. You know, diet is what you consume. There's spiritual diet, mental diet, information. You understand? The kind of information that you churn out on a daily basis will make people to know the kind of person that you are. Right? So I'm a faith-based person. I've talked about the marketplace, and I am incorporating the line of my faith because it's part of my core values. There's rarely nowhere that I have gone to teach that you would not be able to trace the fact that this person is kingdom-minded.
You are faith-based.
You understand, right? Without insulting whatever you believe, right? But we are establishing a particular message, a particular phenomenon by a character in the Bible. It's a story. I paint the story. If I tell the story, I can use the story of the prodigal son to teach financial management anywhere. I will draw all my principles from him. And by the time I finish teaching it, you wouldn't know I was talking about the prodigal son. That's about my uniqueness, my ability to extract facts that relates to the subject and present it to you in a way that helps you, right? So that's just it. So that's exactly how it happens. Every creative uniqueness has what? A unique market. Can you see that now? So for somebody like me now, people know what they can call me for. Before you thought of inviting me for this particular presentation, there are things you saw. Say, oh, we share something in common with this person. And then let me approach this person and let's see what we can do together in order to advance what my own purpose is. Can you see now? So if there are no underlying similarities between the two of us, we wouldn't have connect and there won't be a flow. You understand? And that's why you see that people have fans, right? There is a connection, there's a bond There's something that bonds them together. There is a similarity. Also in selling.
Right.
That's why in selling, there's what we call the customer avatar, right? Now, copywriting is used to sell, to make selling easy in writing. Copywriting is a selling skill, but you need the customer avatar to be able to write your copy. Are we together? So the avatar simply tells me who my target audience is, what their pain is, are they married, what do they like, where do they gather, what is the thing that is peculiar to them. If my target is married people, now, do they have children? Are they waiting on God for children? If they have children, do they fight? Do they quarrel? Now, how do they maintain their finance? So when I am creating a product for them and I'm writing about the product I want to sell, maybe I want to sell parenting. Now I have to bring out all these peculiarities. If the person I'm targeting is 45 to 55 age range, that means their children will probably be in secondary school or in the university. Their challenges will not be the same thing with just newly wed couples or marriages that are less than 5 years old. So you can see. And so there will be differences there. So the customer avatar helps me to be able to create like a mannequin. You understand? Like the mannequin is standing before me now. I am picturing who I'm talking to. For instance, we are talking about rebranding now. In my mind, behind my mind, I'm picturing the people we are addressing and how. That's why we have gone into talking about business, individuals, and organization. We talked about the pandemic and the need for you as an employee. If you're a lecturer now, of course, you must be able to teach the way I'm teaching now. You understand? You don't have to go to the classes. You must be able to do all this. Are we together? And create visual illustrations that does not separate you from the core of the subject. Right. So those are the things. That's why I said your best clients are always willing to pay for bigger, safer, and better solutions. Solutions with what? Least risk, not essentially the lowest price. Can you see that now? So when you rebrand by increasing the value of what you serve, the people won't mind the price, right? Because they want quality. And that's the reason why if you want to buy a particular thing, you will pass many other people and go to one person because of probably the way the person treats you. There was a company like that they discovered that their sales were going down. So they took 25 best hands in sales and went for a brainstorming session. And they discovered that when they were doing their espionage and checking what really make customers comfortable to buy, they discovered that if somebody is there when the customer is present, the customer is more likely to buy. So when you get into a supermarket and you find an attendant come to you, how may I help you? And it helps you to navigate your way, helps you to make a decision. While you're standing before that particular electronic, he's there to educate you on the features and what it can do and what it cannot do. So there is the high possibility that that person will buy than him going to figure out those things out by himself. Can you see that now? So they came out with the philosophy of what? Grit, helping that particular customer to be able to what? Make his decision while he's there. So as soon as a customer comes in, there is an attendant there. Do you understand? If they had not gone, they rebranded the way they do their things and their sales jumped. So you can see that. So it's not about price. Many people, I want to be sure that what I'm getting is fine for me. Are we together? So if you want to buy a drug now, you would think, will this drug solve the problem? Are we together? So price is not the issue now. Price is not the issue, but rather the medication, because you want to stay away from pain, right? Good. So good. So that's why we have it. So your creative uniqueness develops a solution to their peculiar challenges in your own simplest and what passionate ability. Can you see that? Good. So that's why we have this. So your unique purpose, your creative strategy, and then your in-demand market. What are people looking for? What is my passion? My passion is in talking, teaching, and writing. Are we together? Now, how can I use teaching and writing to be able to solve people's problems? So I must create an instrument of exchange, write a book, right, on that particular solution because I am talented in writing and I'm talented in teaching. So I can create a course, right? See, so I can create a course teaching a solution to people. So that way you can see that my uniqueness or my default capacity, now I have upgraded it. That is what a creative strategy to write a book that will bring me money. So you can see that what your default capacity is your oil of wealth. Can you see now? We went to the woman, the widow, and asked her, what do you have in your house? Right? He said, I have but a small oil. But she didn't have the capacity to convert the oil. So she was given education on how to multiply the oil. And when she eventually rebranded her approach towards the oil multiplied and paid off her debt. And paid off her debt. So that's
wow.
How
what an interesting eulogy.
Yes,
I love that.
So that's it. So you can see creative thinking from your clarity of your identity, then your constructive commitment. She had to stay and keep pouring the oil from one vessel to the other. So you are showing up. You are doing this program every month, isn't it? So every month you come up with a new thing. True. Isn't it? So that is the constructive commitment to a defined objective. Can you see that now? So every time you have to sit down, what are the current challenges that remain that relates to purposeful lifestyle? And how do we address it to help people? Can you see that now? Then you now look at it this way now. The third one is what? Flexible deployment to remain relevant to stakeholders. So your community now, you have already informed them. The last time we couldn't do it, there's a reschedule. Now the reschedule is coming with a replay. So now when we finish this now, the link to the replay will be available. Now I send it to you. It's available to them. You make it available to them. Within 7 days, they can go back and watch this session and get the same kind of education that every other person has gotten. Right? Woo! Good. So you can see it. So as an individual or as a person, why should you rebrand? So you can see, to create a new perception of your brand offering. What am I offering? Are we together? So I want to create a new way. That's why they changed the bottle. And now everybody is using can. Bottle is fading away. It's becoming obsolete. We're now using can. Are we together? So that's it. So why again should you what? When should you brand or why should you rebrand? When your vision, your mission, your values no longer reflect what the brand stands for. The moment people stop getting the value they are getting from you, they have moved. So that's why you need continuous improvement. The moment people stop getting what they are getting from you, they have moved.
Because the world is evolving.
Exactly. So when there is a misalignment with the new reality to invite new possibility, when like now you are saying everybody is using phone. If you are doing business now and you are not online, you don't have an online version, sorry. How many people can you reach physically? But you can reach almost the entire world. There are 5 billion people in the world that are online. And almost 92% of the 63% of the world can access anything via their phone. Some people nearly sleep with their phone. Are we together? Good. So if you want to launch a new product too, it's another opportunity to rebrand, right? So as that new product is coming out, you are rebranding with that new. So, and that will jump your sales. And you can use that new product to open a new aspect of your business, right? Good. So there's this athlete that his name is Michael Phelps. Michael Phelps was a swimmer, right? And then how did he rebrand himself? He's always competing with his old record, even though he was a world record breaker many times. So when he comes back, he wants to beat the former record. He's not competing with other people. He's competing with his old record. So you can see it now. You understand? He is more focused on his potential than on the people. You see it now. So that's the difference between growth and goals. When you focus on growth, you will achieve your goal. You will constantly achieve your goal. But when you focus on the goal alone and not your growth, what happens is that you will get to a particular level, you can't go beyond it. So that's what he was doing. When he mastered that, he moved into athletics. Say, I want to now start running. You understand? Say, oh, if I'm able to swim and do very well, I can move the same capacity into another version. So you can see now, he's now moving himself into a different space entirely. So you can see, so you are a mold. Once you know what you are unique about, like I can use my teaching, my writing to administer to many areas of need. If we start to minister in the gospel now, it's a different thing entirely. I'll still be using my teaching skills and my writing skills. I can blend them. If I get into the business place, the same thing. If I get into a counseling session, it's a different thing entirely.
Sir, wow,
so we are almost getting to the end of the slide.
Sorry, I wanted to just come in here because in fact we are blessed already with wealth of knowledge.
Go ahead.
Hello, sir.
Go ahead, I can hear you.
No, I wanted to I wanted us, like, if we could just wrap it up now, like a major take home that will strike out for us. Because this is wealth of resources.
Yes.
I don't know.
The major take home here is
this
the fact that
wealth of knowledge and wealth
you cannot remain the same in a changing world. And understand that branding is not decoration. Right? A lot of people think it's just to decorate. No, it's not about decorating. It's about your core identity. What do people take away from you? You understand? What does your uniqueness, how does your uniqueness help other people to become unique? Like scripture says, in your light.
How does your uniqueness help others?
You understand? In your light, we have seen the light. That's simply what it is. That's what it is. So how do you catch attention? What emotions do you drive? And what is the attraction that keeps people coming back? That's just the pathway. It's win-win. You are just effortlessly doing your thing, and people are getting blessed and getting results from what they learn from you.
Empowered, enlightened.
So this is absolutely what we need to do. So I needed to show this pathway. That was why I did it. So I think there's one person with us. If she has any questions, they can ask, so that maybe in the comment box. Mrs. Atinuke, you can unmute yourself. And if what has this session?
Yeah, welcome, Mrs. Atinuke.
Good.
Thank you for tuning in.
Yeah. Yes, can you hear us, Mrs. Atinuke?
Yes, I was thinking she will ask a question. We're just giving her a chance.
Yes, let's hear from her. I think she has unmuted herself, so if she has a question or contribution, we can also learn from her. Are you there?
Mrs. Atinuke, please could you say a thing or two? Comment, question, contribution, commendation.
For staying with us till for staying with us till this particular time.
I can't wait for others to be blessed from yes, I'm sure it's quite an engaging discussion and something to go back and reflect on. I can't wait to sit back again and listen to the replay. This wealth of knowledge. Thank you so much, sir, Mr. Julius Afolabi. This is quite enlightening. If not for anything, what really stood out for me is just using your uniqueness to create the light, the path for others. And we can't thank God enough for such kind of light, for the privilege, the effort you've actually put in to see that we hold this meeting. I admire that resilience in you. And I believe that as many that will, tune into this discussion will have something to go home with. It's a blessing. Wow, it's a package of knowledge that could be used in different spheres of influences for actually, as you mentioned, rebranding ourselves in such a way that we don't lose our identity, but instead be able to cope with, so thank you once again. And as we wrap up, I do believe that viewers watching, if you've tuned in to watching the replay, please do well to, Mr. Julius Afolabi would do well to give a feedback. And I also like to, for viewers that are watching, to try to follow up with Mr. Afolabi, because this is actually my field of studies. So I think that was what, drew my attention to your posts and, following up with things that you share on the Facebook. it's quite inspiring. And I thought others should, tap from this wealth of knowledge. And thank you so much. We give God the glory, and we pray that some other time we'll have you again on the platform.
Okay.
Thank you, sir.
All right, Mr.
God
Tunike
bless you,
is
sir.
saying from the
So
chat
on this
box.
note, we'll end this discussion. Drop something, a comment
on
or
the
message.
On the chat.
Oh, okay. Okay. Check the chat box. Okay. Thank you. Yeah, very, very, very impactful and inspiring. Thank you, Mr. Tunike, for staying with us. It was indeed a blessing, and I know many will be blessed as well. Many will be blessed. This does not serve only the marketplace. I think it serves every sphere of influence. A thing or two to go home with. Thank you so much, sir. We really appreciate you. We can't wait to have you, maybe in another discussion, area of discussion, because I can see you are vast in knowledge. So you can fall into several topics. So probably next time we'll talk on parenting.
Okay.
Yeah,
I'll be
look
glad.
at something that has to do with parenting. Thank you so much, sir.
I'll be glad to share that. Thank you so much.
On this note, we'll end this discussion, and God bless everyone, and good night.
Thank you so much.
Bye.
All right.
Thank you, sir. Bye.